We have a lot of big, gorgeous native plants and trees all over the Suncoast, but you may not realize that some of them can be poisonous to our pets. Mark Chambord from the Canine Corral is here to tell us which plants we need to keep our four-legged friends away from. Welcome, Mark and friend.
Well, thanks for having me. I have Pasquale, of course. I brought him here before. He's 13 going on 14.
Oh.
And still, as you can see, I've been giving him a supplement. He's got lots of energy.
Yeah, that's like 89 going on 90 for a dog.
Yeah,
so how did they do in the storm in Irma?
All of the dogs really, they had almost like a little worried look on their, you know, not their normal disposition. And more often than not, you know, they didn't really know the building's pretty secure at where we're at. But most of the dogs could feel the barometric pressure. They could feel that there was something going on.
They could feel the human stress too, I think.
Yeah, I was trying to stay as cool as possible, but you know, you always, you never think you're prepared enough.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then when you let them out, when you go out again, things have changed. There are a lot of plants they haven't seen before, and they love to go off and sniff.
Exactly.
So that's kind of a worry, isn't it?
It is, definitely, especially what we're going to be talking about with the plants and things that
some plants are dangerous.
Yeah. Now, I know that we have some pictures here of Irma, and I was just curious, do we have those up here?
I think actually we have some pictures of the plants that you were talking about.
Yeah,
that
so
were
we
dangerous.
know.
So tell me about like this one. What are we holding? What is this?
This is one of these things, they're not necessarily poisonous, but this is a starburr, and what's going to happen is these are going to dry out in about a month or so, and those are the ones that are going to get into your dog's paw. It's going to be walking in with its foot up like that, and you're going to have to pull them out.
Well, and they get stuck in their hair, they get stuck on your socks.
Out.
Definitely.
Now,
and
what about this one?
these are what I call them cling-ons. These are going to cling on to your...
Let's get you to hold
well, they can, they can actually cling on to you and your pet. And they say that in order to get the cling-ons off of your dog, you can use, well, they say vegetable oil, but I like to use coconut oil.
Oh, okay.
And it comes off much quicker. All of these are going to be eventually Klingons that...
Are they safe?
If they're, yeah. Now, you know, well, they're not... Look, we have the sago palm. Now, this is something that you want to worry about because that's actually poisonous.
Really?
It has seeds, and the seeds, your dog could have 1 or 2 of them, and it could actually be fatal.
Really? They're everywhere.
They're
Yes,
everywhere.
they are.
In the, you know, the county is beautifying. They plant these. We just got to be careful of anything that the dog could or possibly ingest.
Yes. Any other plants that we need to look out for?
Well, there's also going to be, well, several of them. The oleander, which I was really surprised. The oleander is poisonous. Every part of the oleander is poisonous. Even if the flowers go into the water can become poisonous as well. So you got to be really careful because that concentrates on the cardiovascular and the nervous system.
Any others?
Well, it's not. People say, well, poison ivy probably doesn't really bother the dog, but it does on the underside. You know, they always say leaves of 3, let it be. That's one reason why you can find the poison ivy, but it will cause a lot of irritation. And they say that. I know with humans, you take 3 teaspoons of baking soda to 1 of water, and you can make a paste that you can put on that. But of course, you want to wash everything thoroughly with water before.
So the main ways to tell if your dog has gotten into something like this is what kind of reaction?
Well, first of all, they're probably going to be vomiting. Their body is going to be rejecting whatever's in it. Increased thirst, however, you want to be careful not to give them a lot of food and water after that, but their thirst is going to be very, very heavy. They might have a bloody stool, and of course, anytime you see your dog to be a little lethargic, you know there's something not quite right with it.
Yeah.
You know.
So how do you keep your pet safe? How do you keep them away from those things?
Well, first of all, inspect your backyard. Make sure that you know every plant that's in the backyard and what it produces. The other thing you want to make sure of is keep the leash on your dog when you're walking. You know, you should always leash walk your dog because they may just poke into a bush. I had a customer of mine that the dog poked in the bush and actually popped with a needle into its eye and had to have surgery. You know, and teach the dog drop it and leave it. Because those are the things, if you get something in your dog's mouth, you tell them to drop it, you can get it out before they ingest it. And just be real careful. I mean, don't feed them anything that you wouldn't feed normally, you know, and if it's anything on a walk, assume that it's poisonous.
That's very good to know. There is a list from the ASPA of a lot of plants that are dangerous to pets,
if
right?
you go to the going to be the animal poison control. They'll have a list of everything, then there's a big list of it. And get to know the list before, get to know the plants before, so that when that does come up that you see your dog with a plant, you'll know whether or not it's poisonous or not.
Pascal's making me laugh.
good
He's feisty
I
today.
think your friend here wants to go home. So if you need more information, Canine Corral is a great website. You can get all kinds of information, and you can find out about boarding and daycare. Thank you so much. And next, Dr. Jenny is going to talk to us about how we can avoid Alzheimer's. I've got to find out this information.